Good morning and welcome to KPC. Good to see you all again. So, like we do every week, before we start our meditation, we want to take a minute to really establish our motivation and intention for being here today, and really start to develop that compassionate wish in our mind to free all beings from suffering. So this is our bodhicitta intention. So let's take a moment and, bring that up in our mind and focus on that intention together. All right. So we'll begin with some opening prayers. So we'll do the 7-line prayer on the front page of your handout, and I'll put it up on the screen here. We'll chant this 3 times in Tibetan. Excuse me. Organ yogi nucham sam pemage sarom pola yasan shogi non drumne pemajungne shesudra koryu kandro mampokor keki jesu dag drupki chinjilop shir sheksu sol Guru Pema Siddhi Hum Organ Yogi Nucham Sam Pema Ge Sardom Pola Yasan Shogi Nondrumne Pema Jungne Shesudra Koryu Kandrom Mampokor Keki Jesu Dag Drupki Chinjilop Shir Sheksu Sol Guru Pema Siddhi Hum Organ Yogi Nucham Sam Pema Ge Saram Pola Yasan Shogi Nondrumne Pema Jone Shesudra Koryu Kandrom Mampokor Keki Jesu Dag Drupki Chinjilop Shir Sheksu Sol Guru Pema Siddhi Hum. All right. So in this class, we'll be doing 3 different types of meditation to stabilize both our minds and also open our hearts. So, we go over this every week. What is meditation? Why do we do meditation? And meditation is the natural state of the mind when it's relaxed, when it's open, and also stable and alert. So meditation trains our mind to be this way. And the core purpose of meditation is to create more spaciousness in our mind. And, we might not even know until we do meditation how busy our minds are. Because when we have a moment that we actually quiet everything down, we sit still, we might realize how many thoughts are constantly bubbling up in our mind. And so, just like a muscle in any other part of our body, our mind is like a muscle, and we can slowly over time create more spaciousness and more stability of mind. We can work at it. We can really, excuse me, improve the overall just calm state of our mind. There's so many things around us, so many things happening in this world that create more inflammation or anxiety in the mind, or maybe frustration or anger, or there's so many things we're dealing with all the time. And so meditation really helps us create that buffer or that pause or that rest um, before we react to everything going on. So that space between action and reaction. And when we can do this, we can also balance our emotions in a better way. We can um, handle whatever comes our way with more spaciousness and less reactivity. Um, so it really can change every aspect of our life. And we really see that benefit over consistently showing up to our meditation practice again and again. So meditation is also very important on the Buddhist path because it's the very first step in developing bodhicitta, which again we said that is the compassionate wish to free all beings from suffering. So how can we possibly care about other beings or care about the welfare of other beings if our mind is so agitated, so wound up, there's no space at all, or we're extremely self-concerned, whatever that is? It's how can we begin to become more aware of the beings, the state of all sentient beings and the suffering of beings. And so it's a really important to stabilize our meditation. We'll take a comfortable seat, whether you're in a chair or on the floor, either is fine. We just want to have a straight spine and just breathing naturally. It might take a few deep breaths to get to a more natural rhythm of breath. So the meditation that we're doing is Shamatha meditation. So it's again just like a calm, abiding meditation, and our central focus of our meditation is our breath. So we're going to do our very best to just, as thoughts arise, let those thoughts go and return to the breath. So our attention is on the breath. It's not a very heavy attention. It's a very light attention. So we're not thinking, inhale, exhale. Oh, I'm okay. I'm focusing on the breath. It's a light attention. So, a gossamer thin attention. It's like our attention is like a feather gently riding the surface of our breath. So again, we're bringing the attention back again and again. And we're going to keep our eyes slightly open but relaxed and gazing down towards the floor, almost like you have a line from the bridge of your nose extending out to the floor and picking a point on that line to rest your gaze. And again, we're breathing naturally. Our shoulders are back, our elbows are back, and our hands, we have our right hand over our left with our thumbs touching, and then in our lap. If it's easier, if you're in a chair, you can put your hands on your thighs or knees, if that's better. And then we just have a little bit of air actually passing through our mouths as well, just very, very slightly open. So not, tightly shut. So a little air is also passing through the mouth in that way. And we do this by putting the tip of our tongue on the back of our front teeth, like we're saying the letter L. So that right there. And then breathing naturally. And again, when any thoughts arise, slowly just gently bring yourself back to the breath. You don't have to go down the road with your thought. You don't have to inspect your thought or judge yourself. Oh no, I'm thinking things and my mind is so busy. Just drop it and come back to the breath. Our meditation isn't lost when we have thoughts. It's when we go down the road with those thoughts. So we're going to start with just a short warm-up round. If you're new to meditation, it's always good just to start with shorter sessions and not just jump into the deep end, try to keep our minds aware for 45 minutes. So it's good to build this muscle up slowly over time. Just bring out my timer. So we'll just start with 3 minutes together and see how we do. Okay, starting now. So we're just going to try a little longer now. Same thing. And again, if any thoughts come up, if you find your mind's very busy today, you can imagine even cutting the thoughts or picking up the thoughts and tossing the thoughts away, if that is helpful, just to, yeah, to kind of cut the thought can be a good visualization tool. So we'll increase our time. Starting now. Okay, so now that we've created some more spaciousness in our mind, now we'll move on to a practice that will help develop our hearts. So we're going to go over the practice of Tonglen, or giving and receiving. This is a practice done to help develop our compassion and help our ability to be present for our own suffering and the suffering of others. So, this practice trains us in the energy of loving kindness to open our hearts to suffering and to transform it into well being. So, we're actually going to, in this practice, imagine taking on um, the suffering of others, taking that into ourselves, and then sending them all of our happiness, all of our compassion. Um, so, this is a mental exercise to, you know, create develop a stronger wish to benefit beings. So slowly it will expand our ability and our capacity to love all beings in this way. So we're going to stay in our meditation posture, and we're going to imagine one or two beings. This could be a parent, a child. This could be a pet that you love. So one or two beings who you very easily feel love and affection for. This is someone that you can really easily feel compassion towards them. You can feel empathy towards them if they're, suffering. So their suffering particularly touches you, or if you imagine this person sad or upset or sick, that would be an awful thought. So anyone you easily feel love towards. So we're going to imagine, what it would really feel like to be in their shoes, to stand in their place and to experience what they're going through. So we let that kind of feeling of wanting to take away their pain, wanting to take away their suffering, be the driving force of this exercise. So we're really creating in our heart this fervent wish to relieve their suffering and secure their happiness. So we just want them to be happy. And we do this by focusing on our breath. And so we're following the natural rhythm of our breath with this exercise with Tonglen. So as you breathe in, if you're inhaling through your nose, you're imagining that you take on all the causes and conditions of their suffering, all their sadness or misery. You take that in as a form of like a dark black smoke. You're taking that in, you're breathing that in. And as you're breathing in, you can just see that it's relieving all of their suffering. And then as you breathe out, you visualize that you're sending and that they're receiving all of your positive and loving qualities, all of your happiness, all of your joy. And then you imagine that you're sending that out as this radiant, pure light. And you see it just, it transforms them into, it brings them this happiness and this limitless joy. So you might think as you breathe in, may you be free from suffering. And then as you breathe out, may you be happy. So we're going to imagine that. Again, you might pick one person or two or however. So we're going to do that for a few minutes. We'll do that for 3 minutes together. All right. Okay. So 3 minutes. Can't get my timer limit. There we go. So we're going to repeat this again. And this is when it can be a little bit harder. And this is the whole really point of this practice is to stretch our love and compassion, even when we don't feel like someone deserves our love and compassion, but to stretch and expand this love and compassion for all beings, even those we feel intense anger or aversion towards, or like they don't deserve our love and compassion. Or maybe this person has hurt you in some way or hurt others, and they are just a whole, creating a lot of misery uh, for themselves and others. And so I want you to think of someone that, yeah, you have anger or aversion towards, that you don't want to do this for. So it can be, again, one or two people, or maybe someone said something to you this week that really made you angry, or so having them in your mind, and again, doing the same exercise of just breathing in their compassion, or sorry, breathing in their suffering, their pain as that dark smoke, and then exhaling and giving them all your positive qualities, all causes and conditions for happiness and joy. Sometimes when it feels hard to do this, I remind myself that all beings are just trying to be happy, whether they know how to do that or not, whether they are harming people in trying to be happy and they don't know how. We're all trying to be happy. And so, really considering that all beings deserve our compassion, that there's not one being that should be excluded from that. So let's try this again. And again, for someone we have a hard time, we have anger and aversion towards. So we'll do this for a few minutes. There we go. All right, and now we're going to expand that out to include all those, everyone who you have those similar feelings of agitation or irritation or anger towards. We'll just do that for one additional minute. So again, we're trying to increase the scope slowly but surely of our compassion towards all beings. We'll do one more minute. So as our meditation deepens in our hearts and opens up our heart, we can gradually increase the scope of our visualization to include larger groups of people. Again, so that our loving kindness and compassion can embrace all beings throughout existence. So we can use this practice anytime. You can do Tonglen anytime, even, maybe you're in a waiting room or you can imagine, breathing in all the pain and suffering of everyone. Maybe they're going to the doctor for some reason or another, imagining doing Tonglen right in the room with people, or doing Tonglen, even imagining that, like, maybe someone comes to you very stressed or very upset and they're talking to you. You can do Tonglen right there for someone. Imagining right in that moment the kind of the suffering and pain that they're feeling and expressing to you, starting to breathe that in. So it's really a tool we can use anytime. If you'd like to take a deeper dive into Tonglen, Tira is teaching a 6-week Tonglen teaching and instruction. Last week was the first teaching, and it's on Sundays starting at 11:30. And she'll be doing this series until our regular scheduling continues with Kempo Karze while he's at retreat. So please check that out. And if you missed the first one last week, it's up online. So you can watch that and then come tomorrow. So we're going to finish with the light expansion prayer. This is a guided meditation that was written by Jetsunma Lama, our teacher. So you can just listen along. I'll just end with this. Let us become still. Take a deep breath and let it out slowly. Again. Let us center deep within. Center deep within. Deep within to the presence of the Absolute. And there is radiance. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace the physical body. And all of the physical body is filled with the presence of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to fill our beings on all dimensions. And all that we are is filled with the radiance of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to fill everyone here. And everyone here on all dimensions is filled with the presence of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace this building. And all of this building is filled with the light of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace this nation. And all the government of this nation is filled with the radiance of the Absolute. And the people of this nation are one life. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace planet Earth. All nations and all governments are filled with the presence of the Absolute, and there is peace. And the 8 billion are one life, radiant. And the presence of the Absolute increases and expands to fill this galaxy. All planets, all stars, and all life forms are within the embrace of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace the universe. All dimensions and all kingdoms are filled with the presence of the Absolute. And in all the universe, there is only one life. Now, as we return our consciousness back to physical form, we continue to embrace all that is and to know union, that we are one. And with that, we will do our dedications. We always finish with our dedications to seal in the blessing and the virtue of doing our meditation practice together. So I'm going to put them up on the screen now. Throughout my many lives and until this moment, whatever virtue I've accomplished, including the merit generated by this practice and all that I will ever attain, this I offer for the welfare of sentient beings. May sickness, war, famine, and suffering be decreased for every being, while their wisdom and compassion increase in this and every future life. May I clearly perceive all experiences to be as insubstantial as a dream fabric of the night, and instantly awaken to perceive the pure wisdom display in the arising of every phenomenon. May I quickly attain enlightenment in order to work ceaselessly for the liberation of all sentient beings. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas altogether, whatever kind of motivation you have, whatever kind of beneficial action, whatever kind of wishing prayers, whatever kind of omniscience, whatever kind of life accomplishment, whatever kind of benevolent power, and whatever kind of immense wisdom you have, similarly, I, who have come in the same way to benefit beings, pray to attain these qualities. By this effort, may all sentient beings be free of suffering. May their minds be filled with the nectar of virtue. In this way, may all causes resulting in suffering be extinguished, and only the light of compassion shine throughout all realms. So thank you so much for joining today, and thank you for those joining online. And again, just want to invite you to the Tonglen instruction and teaching tomorrow that Atira will be giving at 11:30 a.m. So we'll be here in this room and also online as well. So I'm going to end the live.